Hey, on this episode, we are interviewing Greg the Ghoul, who owns two comic book stores. One, Phantasm, which we've done a video on, and the other, Nuke Em, which we've also done a video
Should watch
on.
both of those.
And if you're into pop culture and general sort of stuff, comics, movies, all that other stuff, this is one's for you. Because he's got more than just comics at both shows.
Oh, a lot more. So
yeah.
Enjoy this episode.
Have fun.
So as we said in the opening, we are here with Greg the Ghoul, who owns not one, but two comic book stores. Who's better than you, two comic book stores? I don't know many people who own two comic book stores. And if you watched our previous episodes, we did an episode from each of his comic book stores, Nuke Em Comics and Phantasm Comics. So we figured we're in the store. We might as well get him on the show to interview him and see what it takes to run a store and why there's two stores and not one store. I guess I have an idea of why. I was able to visit both of them. Brian is lazy. He does not do much.
It doesn't have to do with laziness. You know that.
In this
I'm the one who
partnership,
works.
he's the non-contributor in this one.
That's right. You just have to make a second trip out now with Brian.
Sure.
So there you go.
So Greg, just where are you right now?
So we're in Nukem Comics. This is the 80 or so dollar bins that we always have on display, and then the other side of the room is individually priced stuff.
Nice.
So this is out in Lambertville, New Jersey, across the river from Phantasm.
Right.
Okay.
Like
Right.
5
Phantasm
minutes
is in New
drive.
Hope. That's in Lambertville. And
Yes.
if you didn't hear him, he said 80 dollar bins.
Yeah.
80 boxes of dollar bins. When
And it rotates, we ship some out, we bring stuff in. It's around that. I mean, I might even add more tables if we can fit more space.
Well, I saw in the last week
tables in the
you
space.
had added 40 boxes and then you added 40 more boxes.
Right. So we're shifting stuff in and out. So we had a person that purchased a huge amount of long boxes from us. So we cleared the table here and we were able to bring in all this stuff just seems to happen all at once. So someone contacted me about 40 boxes. And in the same day, someone contacted me about 30 boxes. And the next day, I went and picked up both collections. So it just happened to be good timing because someone else had bought 80 boxes of comics the week before. So out they go. And in they come.
Was that a dealer or just a regular?
So that was it's something new for me. I've never done this before, but those boxes are actually going out to India.
Really?
So, this is a whole new process for me. I've never shipped in this size before. We had to get some pallets and everything like that. So it's an experience and it's still ongoing, but we're figuring it out. And hopefully we can continue doing that because it allows for me to continue to bring in new stuff. So,
so
I would love to do it also in the U.S. If anyone wants wholesale purchases of long boxes, probably would be easier to deal with, but logistics, overseas shipping and stuff like that is difficult.
I can't imagine the cost of shipping 80 long
Yeah, I wouldn't know. He paid for it.
And how does something like that come about? He just contacted you out of nowhere and.
Yeah, I'm really proud of our Instagram page for Phantasm Comics. It's gotten about 6,000 followers, and it does get noticed with stuff like this every now and then. Usually I think it's kind of a scam, but this one all worked out. Nice. We get contacted like that every now and then, but most of the time it's not real.
And so is it a dealer or is it a collector in India?
So from what I understand, he has a shop in India.
Oh,
maybe multiple shops too. It's conversations through Instagram, phone calls and stuff like that, and just emails and stuff. So yeah, it's not a lot of information, but
just your shipping. That's very
amazing. Yeah. If we're looking for you on Instagram, what do we look for? Just Phantasm Comics?
Phantasm Comics on Instagram. And then we also have Nukem Comics and collectibles on Instagram as well, in case you want to know what's just happening over here.
Right. Okay. And what would you say is the difference between the two stores? What's the major difference?
Yeah, so Phantasm Comics has been open for about 8 years now, I think. So
you're the original owner? It's you since day one?
Yeah, we opened it 8 years ago. Opened it for Free Comic Book Day, May 2016. I think we did a soft open the week before just to get used to how everything worked. But it's a total tourist town. New Hope is visitors all the time. So what I try and do over there is keep everything relatively neat and orderly. You should be able to find stuff, alphabetized books, alphabetized back issues, dividers, tabs, clean. Hopefully it smells good, because we're getting a lot of people who are not comic book readers on the weekly Wednesday schedule. They're just walking down the street with their family and they see a comic shop, they stop in, and we have tons of comic books for all those hardcore readers and everything, but we also have tons of other pop culture items to sell to those people that are walking around town for the weekend. So that's Phantasm. And then Nukem is more of the picker's paradise, where we can put out large amounts of comic books for people to dive in and just have fun and try and find some really cool stuff. And everything else that we had in storage. Phantasm is a smaller shop on the main street in New Hope.
Right.
I try and pack it full. I think we saw in your video, you guys showed off some great stuff, but there's stuff everywhere, floor to ceiling. Yeah. So,
and a nice variety too. I mean, you have a lot of stuff, a lot of different stuff there. You really, but that the card area is something I've never seen in a comic shop before.
And that's new. That probably started getting organized maybe a year ago at the most. We really didn't have too many cards other than new stuff. Pokemon Magic is one of our top sellers, sealed packs. So we always have the new ones. But recently we started pulling out all these old loose card collections that I had in the back, but I never did anything with. And they've really taken off for us. So it's like a new exciting section. Yeah, we got lots of binders and everything. Yeah. So.
I notice online I see a lot, like an uptick in interest in trading card stuff. Not just the game cards, but a lot of the old
comic book cards.
The old comic book cards, like the old there were those old Jim Lee X-Men cards from the early '90s that
definitely
popping back up on sale sites and stuff. So a lot of that stuff comes. I bought a few card sets here and there when we went to conventions, mostly the old horror, comics. They sell the covers, as cards and stuff. But yeah, you see a lot more of the card stuff popping up lately. You see that at the store as well, then, huh?
Yeah, we would sell complete sets. I would just do that all the time, but I didn't. I wasn't thinking about just selling the singles. But they're moving in a good amount that we just keep restocking them. So
I couldn't figure out what I want to collect in that because in the past I've had sets, but I don't have them anymore. But I want to collect. I think I'm going to collect individual characters. Is a much more direct thing.
Yes.
So next time I come
so that's what we've also noticed is people just want to get their characters. So we started putting together sheets, those 9x3s or whatever they are, of just like Cable or Bishop or Storm, Batman pages, just popular characters, and those from all different sets, same character. They sell really well for us too.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and that store too. I had a question about a couple of things in there. You have the overseas movie posters.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, I mean, that's a personal love. That's the Thai movie poster collection that we have and sell. Here, stay here. Don't move.
Okay, and that's if you know us, you know that we've actually talked about them in episodes before, how funny some of them are. Yeah. If you've never seen them, look up some of the Thai movie posters. They're amazing. Yeah.
All right, this one's not too crazy.
Is that Akira?
Original Akira Thai movie poster.
Oh, that is really nice.
So one of the cool things they do with the Thai movie posters and why I love them so much is that they do original artwork on them. So it's something different than you would see in different markets for the movie. This one is sort of like a montage of different art from the movie itself.
That's nice.
But if you get a chance to look them up, you can see some amazing artwork from regional artists. It's really cool stuff.
Sometimes they have nothing to do with the movie. Sometimes nothing to do with it because we're huge fans of those two. We actually will send them back and forth to each other, and it's hysterical.
There's a tattoo shop in New Hope that has those African posters.
Really?
I was getting a tattoo, and I was staring at the ceiling, and I'm like, "Is that how did you get that?" And it was up there on the ceiling, and they said a dealer comes through town every now and then.
Wow, that's really?
Originals or prints of them too. Yeah. So.
I was like, my favorite one is the Jaws one where the shark has a man's body and he's holding the heads of the characters.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great one.
They make no sense. So do you have in Phantasm, do you have people come in for pull lists or not
very few. Yeah. So I know how comic shops should operate, but we do not operate that way. We do fantastic with foot traffic and just sales that come through on the weekend. We do not have a huge Wednesday crowd.
Well, that's interesting.
Very, very little of our, money comes from that. So
casual stop.
No, but if you've never been to New Hope.
If I have, it's been a long time.
So,
I don't remember.
I mean, we were there when we were there. My wife and family go at least once a year, and it's all shopping, and they shop, and that's, you could see when I was in there that day, you could see it was families with kids who would just come in and they're looking for not anything specific. They're just looking to see, what's in a comic shop, and everybody pretty much bought something who walked in there.
What we found out is that most people are surprised to know comic shops are still around. Yeah. Most people, like general public, have no idea they still come out on Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. I'm like, there's something new in this store every Wednesday. Right. I tell people that all the time, stop in if you want to start a new story, sci-fi, fantasy, horror, comic book characters, whatever you like. There'll be a new one on Wednesday. It's a new concept to most people.
That's funny. That's funny coming from two people who are religiously at a comic store on Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Yeah, we've had to get used to talking to people who have no idea what they're looking at, but they're in our store. Right. These are graphic novels. They're the collected editions of single issues that come out once a week. It's like the spiel that we have to give the common public person, have no idea what they're looking at. But,
And your workers are very knowledgeable from the both.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Tell them, it's the only job where you can just read on the job. Please keep reading comic books while you sit here. I don't care. Just
learn as much as you can.
Yeah.
And now, so Phantasm Comics been there for 8 years. How does Nukem Comics come about?
Right. So Nukem was we grew out of the space that we were in. Collections would come in, big collections, and they would be at another location. We had rented an outbuilding location, and that was a fine spot. We did hold some sales out of there. Had a video on our YouTube channel of some of the sales that we've held. There was one dollar bin sale with over probably 100 or so boxes on display for one weekend or something. We would do that. Mm-hmm. But that location ended up getting sold, so I had to get out of there. And within a year, from probably July to July of last year, I've been moving and opening this store. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it took about 8 months to get to the point where we opened this store. And a few months after this, I'm still moving out of that location. We're trying to get everything out of there, but pretty much we've ended up finding this great open space here for Nukem. So.
And when did it open?
2 months ago in May. I did another May opening with free, I think it was a week after Free Comic Book Day.
So it is recent. So now what's your clientele there? It must be a lot of reoccurring.
It is some reoccurring people, but we've actually noticed it's a lot of different people that I don't normally see at Phantasm, because a lot of people do not want to deal with the traffic in town. Right. A lot of people don't want to come to town.
Parking.
They're just stopping in for the comic shop.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Parking was not easy there.
Right. You cannot park for free in New Hope. Mm-hmm. So if you're just stopping in for a moment, you're still going to have to pay or just risk, getting a ticket. So we've actually noticed a lot of people who used to come into Phantasm just to pick through our bins and stuff, and maybe they didn't come in as often. I've seen some of those people here once or twice a week now. So we've got lots of comic book pickers that want to fill their runs and stuff like that. So, and that's what this place should be.
Cool. And so here's my question for Nukem Comics. I know in the front of the store you have a Tall Man statue. Is that just a nod to Phantasm Comics?
Yes. Let me hold on here. We'll get.
We switched, obviously.
Oh, you're gonna put on the Nukem.
Talk about Nukem.
He's a professional.
I gotta say, I like both shirts.
Oh, thank you. Henri did these shirts. He's a local artist for us. He's got some art. He's got some comics that he's done himself that he's put out. Fantastic artwork and stories and stuff. Maybe we could tag his name later just to put it out there.
Yeah, let us know. We'll definitely tag him.
He's done multiple shirts for us. They're always crazy. That's awesome. I love them.
So let's back up a little bit. How did you get into comics when you were? Have you been into comics since you were a kid?
I've always loved comic books. Okay. Comic books have been my big love since my mom brought them back from what I think was a garage sale down the street. I think she found some comic books. It was Flaming Carrot, a Hawk World comic book, which was extremely violent and bizarre to me. Nothing was a number one.
Right.
So I had no idea what was going on. And it just kind of like, where's the rest of the story? You know, it was like tracking down a comic shop, which at the time in North Jersey, in late 90s, early 2000s, there was not many.
Right.
So eventually we found one pretty close, Bob's Comics and Cards. And actually, I think I've modeled the second room in Phantasm where all the comic books are. Like Bob's. I realized that like years ago. I was like, I set this up like my childhood comic shop. Comics in the middle, toys on the outside. But
it's hard not to do that.
Yeah, you know, it's. I've always loved comic books. I'm a DC guy. I love DC. Batman's been my favorite forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love mostly comic books. I'm also a huge fan of movies. So that's why there's all the movie stuff, the posters, the Blu-ray section here at Nuke Em now.
Oh, you got a Blu-ray section.
Oh, yes. We do sci-fi, fantasy, horror, kung fu are our main genres.
I'm going to be excited to look at that when I get there.
Well, Nuke Em is where they had the 2000 AD.
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal. You have the old paper version of the 2000 AD.
Yeah, I remember when I told you you couldn't believe.
Yeah, I know.
Look at this stack.
Yeah, I know.
Look at the stack.
It's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, we get $5 a piece.
I told you.
Oh, wow.
Brian couldn't believe when I came back and told him. I was like, they have, and brand new. You had just gotten them in.
Yeah.
The old newspaper ones. He was like, wait, no. I'm like, I'm telling. We've never seen them in the store.
Oh yeah.
My story's much earlier than yours. Mine was a Spider-Man comic that my mom got me when we were food shopping.
Oh, yeah.
The late 70s. And then at the age of like 13, 14, I read some Swamp Thing stories by Alan Moore.
Okay.
They re-dragged me back into comics. So a lot of those British creators that started in 2000 AD are like super good for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to go back and see them.
And I'm telling you, we never see them.
We don't see them anywhere.
We don't see him at conventions. We don't see him at stores. When I saw him, I was like, "Oh crap!" I was like, "I'm gonna have to get Brian here just for this stack of 2000 AD because that's it's not a."
I mean, I'll try and put out normal. That, is not out in other shops. I'm
definitely not.
I don't want to be cookie cutter comic book shop. This is only new stuff that comes in on Wednesday. It's like there should be some fun stuff at the comic shop, I think, and a lot of the stuff I do love myself. So the 2000 ADs, I love Judge Dredd. And all that stuff. I love the British writers from Vertigo when they came over and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's, you start delving in deeper, then you find that stuff. I don't know.
Are you still collecting now, or is it hard as a comic shop owner? Is it hard to collect your own stuff?
It's hard, but I mean, it's the type of collector I am. It's like, if I like it, I buy it.
Yeah.
I like tie posters a lot. So I've amassed a huge collection for myself. Yeah. We do have some available in the store. I also collect horror paperbacks. Okay. So if you ever read Paperbacks from Hell.
Oh, I love that book.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. So that stuff, I'm always collecting Flaming Carrots, probably because that was like one of the first I got.
That sticks with you.
Bob Burden. I met Bob Burden once because I I was shopping at the kitchen sink press table in New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
And there was just this grouchy commentator standing next to me, like looking through the bins. Uh-huh. And it turned out to be Bob Burden, hanging out at the table. And I was just shocked. I had nothing to say to him other than I love Flaming Carrot. And then I just walked away. It was just
Now, do you do conventions? Do you do conventions with the store or no?
Yes. Yeah, I try to. I think that's really a big part of owning a comic shop. Mm-hmm. It's one of the best ways to promote the store in person. It's like one-on-one. You're chatting with everybody that walks by. If I don't make any money at a show, sometimes I'm okay with that. Yeah. I made great connections with people. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the time, I've noticed many people coming back to the stores because they want to see what else we have. I try and take a little bit of everything we have. And I say it's like times 100 if you come to the store.
Yes.
But I love shows. I love going to conventions. I've always gone to New York Comic Con as a fan. I've never vended there. And I've been to San Diego a few times.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's a lot of fun. I love conventions in general.
So do we. We go to as many as we can.
Yeah.
We do a lot of the Jersey ones. What conventions do you do in Jersey?
So we just did Garden State Comic Fest.
We were there.
I have the lawnmower going by, so I don't know if this is going to...
No, we don't hear it.
Don't hear it.
Okay, good. Wait a minute. Here he comes.
Listen, I had the city in front of my house cutting down trees about an hour and a half ago.
Okay. All right. I'll start it over. I'll answer the question again.
We normally get interrupted with Leatherface-like noises.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. Who knows what's going on behind the camera, right? It's just, butchery. But we just did Garden State Comic Fest.
We were there.
It was a great show. And I love doing the small shows, like those classic, just an Elks Lodge, full of comic books or something like that. So we do John Paul's show, which he runs out of Clinton, New Jersey. Clifton, yes.
Yeah.
And we haven't done the Philadelphia show in a while. Derek's show down there by the airport, but we would. There's great comic book show. It's classic. It's old school. It's
What's the name of that one?
It's, I think, the Philadelphia Comic Con. It's one of the oldest running classic shows in that area.
That's interesting, because a lot of cool conventions started in Philly.
Yeah.
But historically, there's a lot of comic book history there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's like I started off doing conventions in North Jersey. So I have a lot of relations with those guys up there.
Yeah.
And when it came down to open the store in New Hope, I started meeting all these people down in South Jersey and Philly area. And I realized there's like this, it's not a divide, but like there's definitely a North Jersey crew people versus South Jersey crew people, or even like Southwest Jersey people, Philly people. So it's been really nice to meet people and, all over the place, make connections. But
yeah, we do.
Try to stay in like tri-state area for shows.
So do we. So, and we do a lot. We like King Con is really good.
Yeah, I did that for the first time this year. So
that's a great convention over and over again. And we had a new one this past year. And we've actually become friendly with the guy who runs it. One Day Comic Expo.
Oh, okay. I gotta check it out.
Chris ran a great convention, and the Super Jersey Comic Expo. We actually, AJ runs it. You have it. Yeah, I noticed you had it there too.
Yeah, we're doing. Let's see here. We're doing this.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
We're going.
We're going Sunday. We will be there on
Egypt.
Sunday.
We'll be there. We set up at Nerd Fest. I don't know this. There we go. Nerd Fest in Swedesboro. I don't have anything else to show. And then ZoloCon will be at the end of the month. So we have 3 conventions in August.
That's good.
So I think it's really important when you run a comic shop, because
Terrificon's coming up too, and that's
I did Terrificon last year. That was expensive.
That's a great convention though.
But you're missing
a great convention.
I am missing it for the first time in probably 4 or 5 years.
Oh no.
Yeah,
good reason to miss it or not?
Yeah, he moved the date, right? So it's usually the last weekend in July.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why he moved it, because it didn't conflict with San Diego Comic-Con this year. Right. But he moved it to August, and we'll be on a cruise. So
he will be on a cruise.
I cannot convince my wife to give up the cruise to go to Turkey. And we stay overnight. We stay 2 days, and my wife gambles, my kids and
yeah.
To me, it's a great convention. But it's
it's a good one.
They don't sell out.
They don't sell out? No.
It's packed though, but they don't sell out. But so you're not doing that this year?
No. It was definitely it was a lot of money to spend to get up there, and there's a casino there. So
that's same here. There's a casino there. So there's
could happen.
I try to keep my money for the convention, but it gets hard when.
But you could turn that convention money into so much more.
And there's great restaurants there.
You
try some of the food, so you make some money during the day. Then you go out and eat at night, and you're like, "Oh my goodness!"
You gamble, and you stayed in the hotel. So you stayed.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, and that's that could be costly too.
Yeah,
if you don't get the deal. But it's a great convention. Terrificon's a great convention.
Yeah,
he runs a great show.
Now, what would you say out of the 2 stores? What's the best thing you've got?
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Well,
it could be
life-size Deadpool always gets
which one?
attention. A life-size Deadpool.
There's a life-size Deadpool.
That's for
You
sale.
walk in Nuke.
That is for sale.
Ah.
Yeah, actually, NECA Toys makes the life-size
I've
items.
seen the Batman.
Yes, we had the Batman. It lives in someone's Bat Cave, Man Cave thing now. So that went out. We had a life-size Slimer, which has a ridiculously big butt. It's so funny when you see it.
Someone bought it.
Yeah, that one went. We had a life-size alien egg, and now we had the Deadpool, which we moved from Phantasm to Nukem. It was getting too tight in there.
Yeah.
How much is the life-size Deadpool?
It's like 1,200.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can get that.
That's not bad, really, because I've seen the Batman was much more expensive.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all should be that price.
Yeah. I get I get like into like half the question to my wife, and then she shuts it down.
All right.
I'm like, what if I bought? Good so far. A life size, things start turning wrong. Batman, and it all goes wrong.
What's the most expensive comic that you've ever had in the store?
We sold a Amazing Spider-Man #1.
Wow.
Nice. 3 or 4 years. It was pre-COVID, so we did that. I think that one sold for a good amount.
Yeah,
I would think so.
Yeah. It's a collection right outside of New Hope. Original owner collection. He's still alive. Nice old man, came out with his comic books. He had also had Avengers 1, Daredevil 1, Iron Man 1. It was that sort of collection.
Wow.
And you bought the whole collection?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's
so
it's like
and all of it's moved. We don't have any of it yet. So here, hold on 1 second.
Oh, that's Amazing Spider-Man #1. Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but we have this hanging as like a promo for what we buy.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was the collection in the background.
In the background.
Yeah, all the wall books behind you.
Yeah. I don't know.
You sold most of that collection?
Yeah. All this is gone. This is
That's
definitely
got to go like that.
Yeah.
I know when I was there, you have behind the counter, you have a Faust #1. We would just talk.
Yeah, that's a hard to come by Faust trade paper.
No.
Yeah.
I just got the trade paperback, and I told the story on the show, but it's so entertaining. I like to tell it all the time. I bought Faust #1 at a comic book convention that was in the basement of a Baptist church near where I grew up.
Holy goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the guy was like, "Oh, you like?" I was like 15, and the guy who sold it was like, "Oh, you like Batman? Check this out." And he just sold me Faust #1. No.
Oh yeah, sure. You like Batman.
And you got in trouble, and
I got grounded when my mom found out.
Oh no.
Yeah. But yeah, I have it. I actually have it autographed by the writer and artist.
We actually have interviews with the writer and artist scheduled coming up.
Oh, cool. Tim Vigil, or was it Quinn?
Quinn and Vigil, yeah.
Quinn
was the writer.
Quinn is the writer. Yeah. Quinn is first, and then Vigil we're working on because he's not technically savvy, so we're trying to get him where we can actually get him on. Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff lined up for September because everyone was busy with conventions in July and August. So we have a bunch of more creators coming on.
Is the season.
Yes, it's the season right now. We enjoy our interviews are probably our favorite part of.
Oh yeah.
At least my favorite part. I don't know about you. You get nervous. I don't.
Well, Howard Chaykin really threw me for a loop that time. That was good.
He certainly
did.
Have you ever had any creators in the stores?
I think Greg Hildebrandt came through once.
Okay.
Like a crew of people. He was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just shopping. He was just coming through to shop. I'd never had any creators set up in Phantasm. Maybe down the road that could happen here, but it's just all about space, lack of space in Phantasm. So, no, I don't. We've never had anyone set up for a signing or anything like that.
Right.
And you have a good parking there at Nukem too. It's
nice parking lot and nice parking lot right next to a pizzeria. Yeah. So. You can drop the wife off over there and hang out over here.
To me, that's what's always been good about New Hope. That at New Hope they can go do what they want to do, and
absolutely.
New Hope was perfect. There, I wish I had more. I wish I had more time in Nukem when I was there. It was just she was sitting in the car, and me and my youngest were just going through as much as we possibly could. we may stop by on Friday. We may come by on Friday. We're heading out. There's a Funko store not far from you.
Alternate Dimensions. Is that the one?
No, it's like the Funko Shop or something like that. We
Cool.
went there. We went there before we came to Nukem, and we got to chatting with the owner, and he was like, "Oh, would you want to do an episode right from here?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know what?" And we're going there Friday, and then we may, if we have time, we may come into Nukem, especially with
I'd
those,
like to stop in.
especially with those 2000 AD.
Yeah.
What time are you open till on Fridays?
Friday, there should be someone here until 5.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're gonna try try to stop by there, and if not, we'll be at New Egypt.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
You'll be there. You'll be set up there.
Yes, I will. Yeah, I got one table there, and I don't know what I'm bringing yet, but we'll figure that out.
Have you ever been there before?
Yeah. Like Chad runs that show from Comic Layer in Trenton.
Okay.
And it's been a good show there. It's nice, small, but it's still mixed with a good amount of stuff. It's not just comic books; it's toys, it's CGCs, dollar bins, wall books.
So we've never been there before, so we figured we haven't been to a convention in the last like 2 or 3 weeks, and we got to get to one. And this one seemed we've been to New Egypt before, the actual flea market, but we've never been to this.
Oh yeah. I haven't been to that flea market in ages. That's flea markets, conventions, comic shops. That's the progression of me. So, I used to do that flea market.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you used to, New Egypt?
Yeah, I used to do all the flea markets.
Really?
Comic books and stuff.
And then you progress to a store, and now you have 2 stores. So what is next? What are you looking to do next?
We'll see. I think conventions and stores are like 2 parts of the tripod. I think online is the other thing that needs to hold up a shop. So we did go to eBay for a year. We sold on eBay. Things did okay for us there. I think because I looked up what the prices of what people were selling everything for, and we just undercut everything that was.
But their fees are so ridiculous. Fees are just ridiculous.
I mean, I get stuff at a wholesale price.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to Walmart to buy my NECA to price it up.
Yeah.
I'm able to price it at regular retail. So when you go to look on eBay and everything's $40 for a NECA toy, and I'm selling it for $27.99.
Right. Yeah.
I still make my money off of it.
Right.
And I'm fine. I don't need to be up there grabbing an extra $10 or $15. We're moving a lot of figures, and we move figures, mystery minis. Comic books are tough on eBay just because it's like you either have to hit that grade spot on, or you're going to get it returned, or you're going to ask for someone just to give them money or something. So we put up a lot of dollar bin lots and stuff, or maybe stuff that people probably wouldn't care the most about if the grade wasn't as tight as possible or something. Yeah. But figures and statues, sealed posters, we'd sell a lot of those, sideshow ones.
Well, that's something we're talking about comic books, but you sell a lot of figures. You have a lot of figures in
like this whole wall.
Yeah, I could see
down the side.
See the packaging.
And that's NECA figures, and you sell all of the regular McFarlane figures. Mm-hmm. And I know right behind you there's loose Star Wars figures in a little thing right behind you, because I bought one when I was there. Yeah. And I tell you, the prices on those were fantastic. G.I. Joe too. Star Wars and G.I. Joe, and the prices were fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah. Hey, that's great to hear. I love feedback like that, and let me know if the prices are not good either. Tell me before you make a Google review. I'll fix the price.
And listen, the price. I would assume, just based on just a little bit of knowledge, that your prices in Nukem Comics are going to be better than your prices in Phantasm, because Phantasm has to. That store has to cost you a fortune in New Hope.
So the Phantasm shop, that store, we own that property. I live above
that's good.
Above it. Me, my wife, and Griffin. Mm-hmm. So we're up there, and that's our property. So yeah, if we're not there at Phantasm at that location, something probably went wrong.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because
I don't plan to move that store.
That's smart.
Unless something really bad or really good happened to us.
Well, that store is it's basically almost in the middle of New Hope. It's in a perfect spot.
I mean, it's a nice spot. When we were shopping for it about 9 years ago, we we're looking on the south side, which is closer to the Playhouse. If you guys are familiar with New Hope, and the a lot more bars and stuff. And that, when we were looking for a store, but also somewhere to start a family and live and everything else. So being closer to all the bars and everything was it's a little too loud.
Yeah. So that's the house you live in too?
Yes.
Oh,
I live
that's
up there.
awesome.
Yeah.
So you don't only own a comic shop.
Always looking for a property that we could do both, live above and open a store under.
It's sort of what you've done here. You just did it opposite. You bought a house to live in and then turned the basement into what looks like a comic store.
There you go. Yeah.
You just try to get me in trouble every episode. What are you trying to do?
You just got to turn it into a museum, and then you can write everything off. Just got to let
you should see what I will see what we're surrounded by right now.
Back there. It looks
when we're done.
This is nothing. This is nothing.
When we're done, I'll turn you around and
it looks great. Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to believe it.
No, it's bad.
Movie stuff. Just you said you're a big fan of movies. Do you like cult films? You like the
Yeah. I mean, we're named after a cult movie. Nukem is
Class of Nukem High.
Class of Nukem High, a Troma movie.
Yeah.
I used to work for Troma.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I worked on Return to the Class of Nukem High.
Okay. Nice.
Stayed up in Niagara Falls for a summer. We all lived in a abandoned funeral home.
Wonderful.
That Troma rented out for the production staff. We all slept on cement floors and sleeping bags and blow-up mattresses. It was the best summer film camp that I ever went to.
That is absolutely
amazing.
You just basically confirmed every suspicion I had about Troma Productions since Toxic Avenger.
Yeah. Honestly, though, whatever you put into the Troma experience, the more you put into it, the more you'll get back.
Nice.
So if you just want to because anyone can go out and work on a Troma movie.
Right.
They're going to pay you. They want volunteers. They want people who are passionate about the movies, passionate about making movies. So a lot of people show up to the open call to come out to make a movie.
Right.
And a lot of them just don't last. Like they get, some people get a bus ticket handed to them to leave, but, or some just leave on their own. Because it is like we were all living in the same building.
Yeah.
Like one shower, one bathroom for 30 plus people. I think, if not more. I don't know how many people I should say were in that building, but maybe who knows?
Oh boy!
You get a phone call from Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah, exactly. But it was fantastic being able to work side by side with Lloyd Kaufman. Is nothing better. If you get a chance to do it, everyone out there, if you're young and you want to go work on a movie, do it.
Right.
How old were you when you did it?
I was probably 23, I think, maybe around there.
It's a good age to do something like that.
It was after college, and it was like one of the first film things because I went to college for film studies.
Oh, okay.
So after that, I went up there, and then from that, I got my first job working for a film distribution company.
Okay.
I had a friend who worked as a PA on a Troma film. It was one of the I'm trying to remember the exact name. I think it was one of the Sergeant Kabuki Man sequels.
Oh, cool.
And we went to the opening party, which was on the Frying Pan boat at Hudson Yards.
That was on 1992.
This was 97? 97.
Oh, cool.
97, 98. That was absolutely the strangest party I've ever been to.
That sounds great.
Lloyd was there.
Yeah.
And I got to shake hands with him and, whatever. And there were a bunch of other people. But the guy who played Sergeant Kabuki Man was there in costume.
Oh, wonderful.
The party. And it was, oh my God, was it
Wild
strange.
times.
What a very strange night that was.
Yeah, I imagine it would be. Yeah, it's a whole great crew. We've kept in touch over the years. So they've come and visited the shops and everything. It's like a small family of Troma fans.
Yeah,
but that's why So my love of films bleed into the comic shops. I name them after movies I love. Which this one because I worked on this movie.
Right.
And Phantasm Comics. I mean, his name is Phantasm. It's probably my favorite.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic
I love that
movie. I was about to ask, my original, where I was going with all this was, what's your favorite sort of offbeat movie that you think everyone should see?
Oh, okay. Well, everyone should probably see The Greasy Strangler.
Oh, that's a weird one.
That's a
Well,
weird
yeah,
movie.
I won't say anything else about it, but you should just go watch that movie.
Oh, that is something.
We've both seen it, and
Yeah.
that is a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
movie.
Wow.
We
I love that
You
soundtrack,
went
too.
really deep cut on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go deep right away. I mean, this is like, I don't know what'll happen if I do this, but as you can see, the far wall there.
Oh yeah, they see them all.
It's not lit up really well, but that's all Blu-rays there. So
Nice.
And that's a big thing. Like, you get a lot of people coming and buying them now.
So we were doing Monster Mania pretty regularly,
Okay. Oh.
twice a year. So we built up a huge fan base for horror movies.
Nice.
And yeah, people were coming in pretty regularly. We get new Vinegar Syndrome, we get new Severin stuff,
Nice.
all the boutique horror labels and Kung Fu labels too. Like we do have some Region B stuff here,
Right.
if you're set up to play those.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the Greasy Strangler is my go-to recommendation to
Wow.
freak everybody out. Psycho Goreman was a great one recently that we watched.
I haven't seen that yet, but everyone I know who saw it loved it.
It's fun if you
Yeah.
just have fun with it and not like go crazy critiquing it and everything. It's a really fun movie.
Yeah, it has like a tone like Evil Dead, right?
Yes, yeah. Very over the top and silly.
Yeah.
So really, all the things you love bleed into the comic shop. It's not just
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's not a comic shop. You're really. It sounds to me like you're not really in business to, make a huge amount of money, and obviously making a living, but you're just putting your love of what you love out there for everyone to enjoy.
yeah. Like I'm going to bring in everything that I love to this store,
Mhm.
and we have found people that also love it as well, which is great.
Mhm.
And we've turned people on to stuff that have come in just randomly, especially in New Hope. They get to see a lot of wild, weird stuff that we put up on the walls.
Yeah.
I love indie comic book stuff too. So like weird horror comics and stuff like that. We stock that in Phantasm
Mhm.
and Nukem. So yeah, I see so many comic books all the time in collections that the same comic over and over and over again. And then it's like, okay, DC Marvel. Oh, wow, there's a Faust.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's different. That's weird. Or here's something I've never heard of. What is this? It looks cool. That's what gets me excited.
Yeah.
And that's what I try and bring in. We have all the other stuff that
I would think you
love.
get 90s Marvel and DC has to be. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, we have all of
There's
that
so much.
times 10. It's like, we got it. But we have lots of other weird stuff here. And I like weird stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
we
great.
do. Yeah.
Well, the Greasy Strangler is an argument for you liking weird stuff. Certainly.
Yeah. It has a good
Define himself
soundtrack,
with
too.
that
If
one.
you ever listen to the soundtrack on its own, it's fun and weird.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up now.
So when you get a new collection, you're just throwing it into the dollar bins? Like, is that
So, yeah, like
process?
when I get a new collection, we usually will try and pull out the keys or we'll sort through stuff.
Right.
I'm actually going to put out a video soon because we had purchased, like I said earlier, the 70 or so boxes, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So I went through them. I pulled out anything that I thought would have value to it. I looked them up, and if it's like anywhere between 5 to 10, maybe a little bit more, I do put those back in the dollar bin.
Okay.
Mhm.
We're not like, I'm not too interested in just that small stuff, but bigger stuff, like we found an Uncanny X-Men 142 and 141, which is Days of Future Past.
Yeah. That's
That was in the most recent collection, so that one got pulled aside. I ended up putting a Preacher #1 back in the dollar bins
really.
because I want people to feel like they can find stuff here.
Yeah.
They have to come back to keep finding stuff.
checking it, right.
out.
That's such a good series. Oh, God.
I also got 6 other Preacher #1s in that same collection.
Wow.
So at that point, I'm like, all right, well, we'll put one in the dollar bin for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
send the other ones off to CGC because they were that nice.
Right.
So did
Yeah.
someone find the Preacher #1 in there yet, or they can come and still look for it?
I don't. I can go look and see if it's still in there.
It takes a
I don't know,
a
maybe it
special
is.
person to fall in love with that series.
And what I said, if you watch my Nukem Comics video, is that comic stores like you have at Phantasm has everything organized and it's alphabetical order and it's easy to go through. I'll go through it. Comic shops like Nukem Comics, where they're not in order, are much better because like you said, you find the stuff that I had no idea this existed. I would never have looked through this if I was just going through. I have to go through every book to see what's there. I love going through boxes like that because you just never know what's going to jump out at you.
Yeah, there is something to that, I think. Absolutely. Like, you know, the dollar bins at Phantasm, we even used to alphabetize those. Like, we have about 9 boxes out. It made it really easy, and people were happy, and they could, like, the regular general public is able to find what they want to find.
Right. They want a Superman.
Hardcore guys. Yeah. You can come here, have some fun.
Yeah.
Because I know that there's also, like, people that just enjoy taking an hour or two to sift through some comic bins.
Therapy. I call it therapy. It's less than the $50 the guy charging me to go talk to him. I could get lost in my world of comic books for an hour and a half, and that's why we go to conventions. It's to get lost in. And listen, we walk away and we go to shops like that, or we go to conventions. I walk away with a stack like this.
Yeah. Well, you have to come out. We'll do the 50-cent sale Black Friday weekend here.
Oh,
so
okay.
All the dollar bins. We're doing it twice a year, so we did it on July 4th.
Yes, we just missed
weekend. It. So you have 4 days to not miss it, and then we'll do it again Black Friday weekend. So you'll have a whole bunch of days to come out to purchase 50-cent comics.
It's got to be nice. How crazy did it get July 4th weekend?
Yeah, that first day was pretty busy. It was really good. We moved a ton of boxes. Opening day, we had a line like down the sidewalk here. It was crazy. I was you never know when you open something or when you throw an event. It gets a little I mean, there's some jitters. Anyone going to show up? I don't know. I worked hard. I tried to hand out flyers. I made a lot of promotions on Instagram and everything, and people showed up. So I was very happy. It was a very successful day. So
and people keep showing up. So you have nice.
Yeah, everyone. This is my new. This is how I feel about comic book shops now. And a lot of the chatter online in the YouTube space. I watch a lot of YouTube. I've been watching you guys lately. I've been trying to catch up on a lot of your shows too.
Thanks.
Been good stuff.
You noticed in those shows that I do all the work, right? And Brian.
Oh, is that how it is over there? But Brian's the behind the scenes man.
No, that's me too. That's also me. I added.
Let's see how it is then.
He's the good books. He's
that's why the channel's doing as well as it is.
That's right. That's right. But everybody seems to be talking about, it's comic shops are going online or sell comics online. I'm fine with that. That's fine. But I think the only barrier to a successful comic shops is that there aren't a lot of them out there.
Mm-hmm.
People don't think they exist anymore. You have to travel around to find them. You have to make a special trip to go to the comic shop, unless you're going to Phantasm because it's in New Hope, so you're probably going there already. Now, my idea about this all is, let me just take over the Rivertown area with comic shops. We could open another comic shop in Peddler's Village. Let's open another comic shop in Frenchtown. 25, 30-minute radius of us, there could be 4 or 5 different comic shops. And you could be the person that always goes to Peddler's Village and never see a comic shop outside of there.
Right.
But you talk to the people in there, and then you find out there's all these different shops down the way that are within 10, 15 minutes of themselves.
Yeah.
And I know just saying that is easy, and spending the money and rent and opening up shops and doing all that is a lot of work. But I really think that's like the barrier of, like, the next closest shop is Flemington, which is a half hour away from here, or maybe Chad's shop in Trenton.
Yeah.
And that's 35, 40 minutes away. And are you going to,
well, we're basically,
I think more shops would be keep this alive. There's lots of people in our area that want to shop in a comic store, or they buy plenty of stuff in person. I mean, we're still open. The lights are off right now, but we can easily turn them on. The electricity's flowing, we're doing this fine. So there is something to old-fashioned comic shop.
Yeah.
This style or Phantasm, where it's, way more organized and more of a collector shop than just comic shop or whatever. I don't know. I think that's really what it is. Well, I just can't find comic shops.
Sure, if you offer people an experience that they're not going to have in other places and that they can't get online, they'll come back. They will. Yeah.
Everything is available online and probably cheaper. Why are you coming into the store. You're coming in to find a good deal, maybe. You're coming in to chat with who's here, or you're coming in for the comic therapy. You know, you want to dig through the bit.
But the community plays such an important part where I think that's where people miss when they say, oh, everything's going online and people are going to order their comics online. You miss that community part where it's how many people are like us. There's not a lot of people out there that are like us. Like you said, in New Hope, you get those customers that come in and they're not comic book fans, they're not collectors. They come in and they just want to get what they want to get. Where you have this other group like us who are comic collectors and fans who just, not only do we want to collect, we want to talk to someone else about what we love. Like you're doing with your shops. We do it with this channel. We just want to talk about what we love. Yeah. And there's not enough places to do that. It's like, to me, it's like a bar. So if I go into a bar and I chat with the bartender and talk about whatever, my problems, whatever I want to talk about, it's the same thing going into a comic shop. I get to talk about the things I love. And this person on the other side knows the same things that I know.
Absolutely.
Mostly the same things. You can't get that online, and online takes so much away from that experience of going. Yeah. That's why we go to conventions. That's why we visit comic book shops.
I think also what you're missing online is the element of surprise, where we could go into a place like Nuke Em, and you could say, "Hey, you like horror films? Have you ever seen The Greasy Strangler? Have you ever seen Phantasm? Have you ever seen all this other stuff? Or oh, you like Watchmen? Have you ever read 2000 AD? Right. You could, and then somebody gets something that they totally didn't expect, because the only thing you can get online is what you're looking for specifically. It's very hard to be surprised,
Yeah, and vice versa. I get surprised too when people ask about stuff and we don't have it, and I'm like, now you turned me on to something,
right?
And we can order that next time you're in the shop. Maybe you'll see it here. So.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Well, what Brian's been doing lately is he's been going to a comic shop in Mattawan. He does a monthly comic read, and they all read the same comic. And
it's a reading club. It's like a book club.
It's like a book club, and they get together and they talk about whatever that is.
Yeah, so there's that element of community.
Yeah, it's a community.
Too.
Yeah. I just wish we had more space in Phantasm. Like we don't have the game nights or anything like that for that community thing. It's just not. The space isn't there, so maybe down the road here, but I just keep filling it up with comic books, so I don't know.
Now, in the back of that store, what's on those back shelves back there? That
all the way back, we have the graphic novel stock for both stores. Like that's shelves and shelves of graphic novels, which I'm not too sure what we're going to continue to do with that space, because it's not easy for customers to shop in at the moment. And if you're not having a nice experience, if you're not enjoying yourself when you're picking through stuff, it's not going to be fun. So we've had some people voice their opinions about that negatively. So I might actually close that section off. I'm not sure yet. Or maybe rearrange where we can have some of that out in a different way. But there are like metal shelves just with stacks of graphic novel long boxes. So
okay, I spent the whole time with the dollar bins mostly.
Yeah.
And I noticed back then, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what's back.
Yeah, it was all the stock that came out of our outbuilding that we had, and there's a second room back there that has even more storage that maybe the graphic novels will go into, and then we can open this back part up. I'm not sure, but
now, have you ever considered doing gaming?
Yes. The only thing with the gaming is I'm not a gamer. I haven't played the tabletop stuff or anything like that. So it's not my world. Right. And actually, you know what? We're not going to step on anyone's toes, because I believe that a new gaming store opened up right outside of Lambertville. If you know where the Golden Nugget is, the flea market.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. Yeah.
Golden Nugget flea market in Lambertville. I think less than 30 seconds down the road, there's a new tabletop gaming store. So everyone should go there if they want to play games. Yeah, I love go there, find them, Google them. That's not me for gaming.
Right? Yeah, I know nothing about it. I just know every time we go into a comic shop recently, they have that. 14 to 17-year-olds back there playing games, and it's nothing
just
to me.
My scene. I love it. I think it's great that people enjoy them as well. Pokemon packs are our number one seller at Phantasm. We go with Pokemon packs like crazy. Grandma's buying them for their kids, for their grandkids and stuff like that. Everyone buys Pokemon packs, but we just don't hold any events or anything like that. So
Yeah, my nephew plays, and he
Mhm.
has a weekly game he plays with his friends, and they get together. I know nothing about it. Never really been interested in
Yeah.
those.
Artwork's nice.
I
like
spend
the
my time
artwork.
reading.
We don't have time.
Right.
I don't have time.
Stacks and stacks of comics to read.
That's right. That's
Someone's
right.
gonna edit these videos.
Mm-mm. Just do it live from now on. No editing. Just
No
put it out.
I do a live every Thursday. I've asked someone else to do a live, but he does not. So
There you go.
every Thursday we do a live.
I
Very nice.
didn't realize we were talking to Greg. We're
Oh,
not supposed
sorry.
to be doing
Sorry.
criticizing each other here.
Sorry.
I'll take a sip while we.
While I criticize Brian. Anything else you want to promote?
Well, we got the shows coming up. We're here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday at Nuke Em.
Mhm.
Okay.
And Phantasm is now open 7 days a week. So, 11 to 6 ish most days.
Nice.
We could just ring your bell if you're not there, right?
Yeah, just knock really loud and maybe I'll come downstairs.
Perfect,
Who
anybody.
knows? I don't know about that.
What's your busiest day there? Saturdays?
Saturday, absolutely. And if there's a holiday on Monday, that Sunday is also a busy day. So New Hope is a great town to have the 4-day weekend in. It's like if you're going to come to New Hope and you haven't been here, anyone that's considering coming out, it's that type of town where you're going to park for the day or half a day.
Gotcha.
And just, you can walk up and down Main Street. It has that old feel, like boutique shops, like you were saying in the other video. And great restaurants, some affordable, some not so affordable, but most of the food's good. And then
But that's a good day for your whole family. The whole family
It's a
would go. You
perfect
can go
day
to the
for the
comic
family.
store, and your wife and
Yeah.
your kids can find something else to do.
Mhm. Yeah, and there's some other fun, like kitschy sort of stores. Love Saves the Day is still on the corner.
You didn't see that video yet.
Oh yeah, is that the other store that you were talking about?
Oh,
New
yeah.
York? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
an interesting store.
So
I used to visit Love Saves the Day when they were in the East Village.
Yeah, a lot of history with them.
Yeah.
I had no idea that they went back so far. A lot of people remember them from when they were in the city.
let's just say we're not going to send them a copy of that video.
Oh, yeah, well, I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see.
We will not be
I
sending them.
won't say anything.
We will not be asking them to watch our video from there
Oh,
because they sell comics in there too.
I know.
Yeah, and there you go. You'll see.
I hear about it after people have come out of there and into our store.
Yeah.
that is
Don't put that in the video.
That is Saturday.
Don't put that in the video.
That's Saturday's
You
video.
have something to explain at the Chamber of Commerce meeting.
Yeah.
Saturday's video. Greg, thank you for being on with us.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to get to Nuke
We'll
Em.
try to get there on Friday. Yeah, we should be able to get there on Friday. If not, we'll definitely be at New Egypt.
Well, New Egypt, I think I'll bring out the dollar bins.
Okay.
I think I'll bring out some dollar bins on the
Okay, yeah.
table. Maybe I'll set a wall up behind me. I brought toys there before. I've done all CGCs there at one point. So it's the kind of show where I'll just try something out and see what sells and just hand out flyers and chat.
We
with
have no
people.
idea what to expect there. So
Yeah, we've never been.
Who knows? Who knows what'll be there?
but thanks for your time. Stay on. I'm going to stop.
Everyone, well, wait. Before we stop recording,
Go ahead.
everyone out there, if you're in the area, please visit Phantasm in New Hope and
Oh yeah,
visit Nukem in Lambertville. Yes?
Lambertville.
right, that's right. Yeah, you can pick up one of these cool shirts if you want. They're
Absolutely. And look for both stores on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on Instagram. We're on. We have a YouTube channel under Phantasm Comics that I rarely put something up on, but that it just exists more to chronicle
Right.
and archive stuff
Right.
that we get in. I'm not chasing any numbers or anything.
Yeah.
With YouTube, I'm just using it as something to put videos out that we can share and promote the store with. We do have a Whatnot channel that we're on, but I never go on Whatnot. Once I'm set up in the back, like we were talking about online as the third
That's
part
how
of the store,
everyone's selling now.
that's going to be an online sort of back area.
Right.
Once I get like an official back
Yeah.
like sign and stuff for the wall.
Right.
We're on Whatnot under Phantasm Comics. We're on Shortbox under Phantasm Comics. So we do online business. It just was all kind of put on pause for about a year as we moved into Nuke Em.
Sure.
But we'll be back. We'll be back online. We'll probably end up starting our Phantasm.com store.
Oh, that's great.
Who knows? Maybe
Everyone
there'll
should be looking
stores.
for them. Phantasm,
Awesome.
Nukem, and visit. Definitely visit.
Absolutely. Come on in and say hello to Greg the Ghoul.
Yes. And we'll see you at Let me try that one more time. We'll see you in New Egypt.
Or we'll see you on
Absolutely.
Friday.
We'll be there.
Or Friday.
Right, we have done it. So that was Greg the Ghoul, owns 2 great comic shops and is a pop culture fan. So find him on everything: Phantasm Comics, Nukem Comics. Check him out at the shows. Sounds like he's going to be opening a bunch of other stores too. He's going to be the pop culture guy in that area. So just look him up, check him out on YouTube. Thanks for watching us. Love what you collect.
Collect what you love.
We'll see you next time.
We would be honored if you would join us.